What's going on YouTube? Is Donnie B all day, and I got something awesome and retro for you today. This is the Hen and Rooster Stiletto in Damascus steel, and it is freaking gorgeous. I'm gonna see, yeah, I can get all that in there. Look at the pattern in this Damascus. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, just an amazing looking knife, gorgeous steel, solidly built, stag handles. You've got your brass liners here with your steel inner, your steel frame lock, your steel frame, your brass ends, your brass pins, your steel screws, and it's so authentically retro. It's awesome, all the way from the open and the close, the finger hooks. So it does have a thumbnail pinch, which does work. You can use it. Now here's the thing, this is retro styling all the way. So you see this little square right here, right? That's what locks the blade on. It's a piece of steel. If you open this thing over and over again, it's going to slide on this and then catch in there, and that's what locks it in. If you were to continue to do that, eventually you're going to wear that steel and your lock's not going to work. So here is your thumb lock. It behooves you to press the lock in as you open it. That way you don't drag the steel across, because that's just dumb. And that's not just this brand or another brand like it. That's any brand. Steel, those steel locks will wear out if you continuously grind it against the lock catch. If you don't do that, this thing will last you forever. Now, look at the size of this thing. It's 4 7/8 closed with a 4-inch blade. Obviously, it's just about 9 inches long. This clip point right here isn't the thinnest, but it isn't the thickest. And when you're talking about a narrow blade, watch this flex if you could actually see it. See that? You can bend this because it's just a long, narrow piece of steel. It's like a rod almost. So you think, what good is it for? Obviously, you're not going to chop, you're not going to bushcraft, you're not going to do all kinds of good crap. This knife is, you know, a throwback from like the movie The Outsiders, and you know what I mean, and any kind of those throwback movies where this was carried. A lot of times it was an auto open, but it was carried for one thing: self-defense. Stick somebody in the kidney or the ribs or the lungs, and that's what this was for. This had no other purpose than self-defense, and it was great for it. And it wasn't a slashing knife. Could you slash with it? Of course, but this was an absolute sticker. This is something that is narrow and long and thin and is made to do this with. That's all it is. It's made to puncture. And I'll tell you what, this Hen and Rooster absolutely captures the beauty of that classic knife. I mean, it is just gorgeous, great, you know, Damascus German stainless steel, and it is fantastic. Now, is there any wobble? No, this thing is mighty tight. The handguard here, these little finger guards, you know, you see, everybody's seen those auto open combs, right, that made like this. You see them in novelty shops, and you see these and they're really cheap and flimsy, and you're like, oh, that's awful. Not on here. This is a real one. These are thick, they're round, they're brass, they're hard, they're beautiful, and they have a purpose. There's a reason that the top one goes this way and the bottom one goes this way. It's not just because that's how they put it on and they flipped it that way. There's an actual purpose for it. My finger on the bottom one is going to rest against this round edge right here. We don't want to put my finger against the sharp edge. But then you're thinking, well, then your thumb's going to be against this sharp edge, so now you're still on a sharp edge. Wrong. That's what this is for. This little landing pad right here is for your thumb, so your thumb fits perfectly on this little round edge, and you can pull back, you can push forward, and you're not going to have discomfort in the thumb while your finger pushes there. So you have this action going on right here, and that's what the hold is. That's how it was made to be held. It wasn't made to be held from the grip, you know, with a perfect foregrip like this. It was made because you want to stick, and it is just beautiful. I mean, you look at the size of it, and there's a few things you can compare it to size wise. You have the K-bar folder, right, where they're just about the same length, almost same size parameters. But this one has a very wide blade. So what else could you compare it to? Nothing better than a classic butterfly knife. So now you look at this. What is a butterfly knife made for? The same freaking thing. The difference is it's got a concealed blade. You know what I mean? That you don't have to lock open, you know, press a little lock to open and close. That's the only difference between this and their intended use. This was made to look cool and wind out and be able to fold into your pocket. This was made to fold into your pocket just by pressing a little button and doing that. This is gorgeous. Those are nice. This is gorgeous. So we're gonna run through just a couple of things because there's not a lot you're gonna do on a knife like this, since nobody's volunteering to come over and let me stick them in the ribs. I'm just gonna have to do some other things. So let's play. All right, so obviously you see that we have the water bottle. Give it a little attention. I mean, just, that's what it's made for, just all day long. I'll go get that and see how we did. Now, it's not made to slice, but it did. It went straight through. You can see where that slice is there. It's just gonna push because it's so small and linear. Let's see if we can get a better cut though. And it's slicing straight through, but it's really made for this, just all day long pig sticking. That's what it's made for. That's what you buy it for. That's what, well, that's not what you use it for. You use it because you want a cool pocket knife. That's it, boys and girls. We're not using this to stick anybody. So it doesn't have a whole lot of real world usage. It's, you know, to defend yourself. However, if you need to absolutely get some gardening done, like I obviously do, you know, this'll make some short work of some weak shit. Let's keep going. All right, so if I was Donnie Be All Idiot, I would do some real world work with this knife and put it through the ringer and damage it. But I'm not. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do some drops. We'll see the weight, and we'll put it into the stump. Just dropping it, you can see, let's see, I mean, it's Damascus and it's hammered in well, so that little bending like that shouldn't damage it, but you definitely do not want to pry with this. Obviously, you can see the weight is so heavily to the rear that it's not really going to drop very straight. However, dropping it on a throw, you'll be okay. So let's see. I mean, that's not so bad. I could try and pry with it, but there's a good chance I'm going to end up bending this tip, so I'd rather just pull it out straight. And so far, so good. I don't want to do a ton of that because I have a feeling that if I do, I'm going to break this thing, and I don't want to break it because I love it. So let's keep going. All right, so let's test this edge quality here, and it shaves mighty nice. Of course, it is a thin blade. Also, I already tested this when nobody was looking, when I got it out of the box, and this thing, I hope you just saw that hair fly because I dropped it. This thing shaves out of the box quite nicely. So I'm going to do something that I don't recommend, that I don't even recommend I do it. This thing is going to run you around 45 bucks. So if I do what I'm about to do and break it, I'm going to have to buy a new one. And there's a 50% chance I'm about to break this because it's just not what it's made to do. This is made for personal defense, stab, stab, stab. That's its only freaking purpose. Outside of that, it's to collect, put on display, because this is a beautiful display knife, and that's it. Use it to show off. That's what it's for. Or use it in your pocket for just in case self-defense, for dog attacks. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm gonna right here break my tip. Oh, okay. All right, so we'll see if I broke the tip any. Oh, I pulled it out at an angle. I shouldn't have done that. Well, I did bend it a little bit because I pulled it out at an angle, but I'm gonna use a nylon hammer and straighten it right back out. Of course, I told you that these tips are very, very, very thin. They're long and thin. The bend is small, but I can see it. I know it's there. I'll fix that. I didn't break it, and that's the main thing. So I won't be throwing a lot with this. However, I have to say that threw so freaking easy. That left my hand, and it was almost like it was purposed to do that. And I probably, if I pulled it out straight, I would have had no problem, but I gave it a wiggle, and I think I buried it in there too much to wiggle it out the way I did. So I'm going to go hammer this flat, and I'm going to continue to love it. So if you're looking for a Damascus knife for under 50 bucks, that is retro style, crazy cool, stag handle, beautiful to look at, easy to stick in a pocket, and will without a doubt 100% be a protection piece if needed. Then I'll tell you what, this is your knife. If you just want a Damascus knife to collect and to put in your showcase or whatever, this thing, especially for the price, is immaculate. It is immaculate. It's a Hen and Rooster Stiletto Lockback, and it is gorgeous. So that's about it for that. I'm gonna go fix what I shouldn't have done. I'm Donnie B all day, and until next knife. Quick update. Took it for about a minute on my little hammer, brought it to the clamp, put it down, bada boom, bada bing. A few seconds later, dead straight again. I'm out.